Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Let's get into it. Phenomenal film. Let's just get off the cast. Daisy Ridley plays as Rey. John Boyega as Finn. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Adam Driver, Kylo Ren. The late, great, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. And the rest, Billy D. Williams, he shows back up in this film after he's been out for so many years. Shout out to him. But let's get into it. So if you've been following the whole Star Wars back in the 80s, well, I think it was the late 70s and then early 80s, it started off with like Star Wars like 4, 5, and 6, something weird like that. And I never noticed that when I was a youngster. It wasn't until I got older, and then in the 90s they revisited bringing out like Star Wars 1, 2, and 3, and it showed like it was like basically the prequels to the other ones, and see how like Darth Vader, how he came up and he wasn't always bad at first, and like basically the dark side took over him or whatever. So whenever Star Wars resurfaced after many, many years, it started off with Rey. And we always had this, we knew she had power, but everybody kind of figured her power, she was Luke Skywalker's daughter. But, he never had no kids to her, but everybody just was kind of figuring like, that's his daughter. So it's always been a mystery. Was it his daughter or was it not? So then The Last Jedi, you see him and you kind of figure out like, is it really his daughter or not? And he was really like an old grumpy man. But by the end of The Last Jedi, he turned into basically Yoda. And then Yoda was turned into like a spiritual being that helped Luke Skywalker. Now you figure he gonna be a spiritual being that's gonna help Rey. So by the end of The Last Jedi, Carrie Fisher, she passed away, and I guess they got time to do some last minute footage for this movie, The Rise of Skywalker. So you have Kylo Ren. He is going on a mission to kill the Emperor. He's using all his powers to find where the Emperor's location is. He finds the Emperor's location, but the Emperor pretty much tells him, if listen, I can help you. If you kill Rey, I give you the new Emperor that's building. We've been basically waiting in the shadows, and you are running, but you gotta kill her. So he kind of goes with that, and him and her always had a connection. So he's on his mission now to find her, and pretty much they're on a mission. She's been training. So Finn, Chewie, and I forgot the guy name, that the other captain guy that's been flying. They on a mission right now while she's back training with Princess Leia, and Kylo Ren, he pretty much comes spiritually and talks to her, and it distracts her. So she feel as though like she's failing her training or whatever, and Princess Leia always believes in her. So they've received intel that there's a spy on the ship, and they're receiving intel of what's going on with Kylo Ren and them. And so they feel as though in a certain amount of time there's going to be a takeover, and they got to try to stop it before the takeover happens. So they're on a quest to find where the Emperor is. Even though Kylo Ren, he already found him or whatever. But his mission is to stop her. But now her powers have grown. So what you see in the trailer, where she's in the desert, they're on a mission to find. She's trying to find where the Emperor is. They gotta find this like compass type thing that gives the location of the Emperor. So when you see her, that part where she does the flip, that's Kylo Ren coming to try to hit her, but really he coming to test her powers, because the Emperor told her don't underestimate what she really is, and he kind of just looked like or whatever. So she does that flip, and then she finds out that Chewie, they captured Chewie, so she uses her force to slow the spaceship from flying off with Chewie. Then he comes and he uses his force to push it up, and they're both using their force, and her force strikes out stronger, and she shoots out a lightning bolt, which crashes the spaceship, and she thought she killed Chewie inside of it, but she really didn't or whatever. So she's upset. She's saying her powers are stronger than she can control. So from there, she's having doubt, but they're still on a mission to find this compass thing. Meanwhile, when he seen her, Kylo Ren seen her powers, that kind of gave him, he knew what she was at that moment. So they infiltrate and gets on Kylo Ren's ship where he's still trying to find her, but now he's spiritually talking to her. They do role reverse. He find out where she is, and he talking to her back and forth. And then he tell her who she is. He tell her that the Emperor is her grandfather, and he killed her parents. Her parents, when we've been finding out what happened to her parents the whole time, her parents were killed, but they sold her to some people to save her life or whatever. So he told her that. He told her to take his hand or whatever, and she pretty much didn't, and she floated off. So she's still on this quest to find this encompass thing or whatever. So they end up going to another place, and Finn sees some more people that rebelled and that were once one of the soldiers, and they rebelled against the people, and then they freed themselves. So he was ecstatic to see them, and she went off on her own through this, like, the water, where you see that on the trailer, all the water and stuff like that. So she went off on her own to find this compass, and she found it. And then when she found it, a spiritual being was saying, basically, don't be afraid to embrace it. And then Kylo Ren shows up, and they're fighting. That's when you see them fighting each other in the water. And at that moment, they're battling, going back and forth, and Princess Leia, she knows what she has to do. The last little, same thing Luke did when it was his last bit of energy and he disappeared. So her last bit of energy before she died, she used her energy to contact her son to make him to see so he could become good again or whatever. So, because he's always been fighting between good and bad, you know. So she called out to him, and when she called out to him, Ray took his glow, you know, the glow little sword thing, and stabbed him with it, and she killed him. But she brought him back to life because she had the ability to heal. So she pretty much told him, I would have took your hand, but I take your hand as Ben, not as Kylo Ren. And Ben is his real name or whatever. So when she healed him, she got in his spaceship and left. Now she's on her quest to the Emperor at this moment. Now he's left. He's not feeling like Kylo Ren no more. He's feeling like Ben. So his spirit of his father, Harrison Ford, comes in. Han Solo. So he comes in and he's talking to him, pretty much saying like, you know what you got to do. And he's like, well, my mom, she's not here no more. He said, well, when she was out here planning, you know, you can still live on what she was trying to do. And so he, at that moment, he throws the red glow stick. I can't think of what it's called, but you know what it is. The red glow stick sword in the water. He tosses it, and that's his way of going to the good side. And Princess Leia at this time has passed away, and now the Resistance is on their way to help Rey where the Emperor is, and she know where he is, and she on her way there. So his deal was, he's going to say that he never wanted to kill her, but he wanted her to come and be so hateful towards him that she would come and kill him, and when she comes and kill him, his spirit would jump into her, and he will become one with her and basically take over. So she fought it, and so the moments when Kylo Ren and her would be talking spiritually, they were able to touch each other. And so Rey had Luke Skywalker's sword, and he had Princess Leia's sword. And so she gave her Kylo Ren Luke Skywalker's sword, and then through the spiritual, and then he was fighting people, and then they both was ready to kill the Emperor, but he shocked them both, took both of their powers, and he became a strong being. But then she heard the voices of all the Jedis talking to her like, the Force will always be with you, get up. And so she got up, and she took all the powers in her, and then she took both of the swords, and she shocked the Emperor, fried him pretty much, and then that drained all the life out of her, so she pretty much died. And then Kylo Ren came, which is Ben now. He came, and he took his last bit of energy and revived her. And then once he revived her, they held each other. She finally took his hand, and they kissed. And then he fell out, and then he pretty much he disappeared. He vanished. And then she looked on, and she seen Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia standing together. They were both like Yoda or whatever. So it pretty much went off like that. She took both of the glow, the Skywalker glow swords, and she buried them in the sand somewhere. And she had the one sword left, and it was like a beaming light, like a yellow beaming light. So that's her new sword. And a lady said, hey, I ain't seen nobody in these parts who are you? And she was like, Ray. And she was like, Ray who? And she looked on and she seen the Skywalkers in their Yoda form. And she said, Ray Skywalker. And it went off like that. No, we did not finally get to see Finn and Ray get together. Like, that's been like the thing going on for like the past couple movies. And it was one moment where they were sinking in like quicksand. And Finn was like, Ray, I always wanted to tell you. And then he didn't get to tell her. And then when they came back, she was like, well, what did you always want to tell me? And then he didn't say nothing. So they keep that mystery going. So it will be another one. I don't know what the other one's going to be. But this was a good movie. This is probably a little longer review. But out of my 4-star rating system, I don't think this year I've given a 4 out of 4. And this is going to be my first one. But I could be wrong. But if not, this is out of my 4-star rating system. This is 4 out of 4 stars. I knew this was going to be good anyway. So 4 out of 4 stars. Definitely, if you're into Star Wars and all the movies, you're definitely going to love this. Phenomenal movie. It kept you in tune the whole movie. No post-credit scenes. Definitely take a watch at it. Leave a comment if you watched it. Tell me how you thought about it. Subscribe and like the video. Till next time.